Alright, I'm a 30-year-old boomer trying my best to play my first serious Souls-like game in years while dealing with tennis elbow in both arms, so yeah, dodging? Not really my thing anymore. Instead, I decided to embrace my lack of finesse and go full tank mode. Why? Because just like in League of Legends, if you're dead, you can't do damage. So, I piled on defense thinking that would do the trick, but then I hit a wall because defense, as in all games, gives us diminishing returns the more we stack it. Have a look at the sheet on the screen. So there are two damage formulas. One is before 250 defense and then one for after 250 defense. Looking at the sheet, we can see when we are increasing our defense from 500 to 600, we only get about a 2.8% decrease in damage taken. So I started to look elsewhere, and I found another stat called damage reduction. Let's have a look at how it compares. Take a moment and guess, which set do you think is tankier? The one with higher defense, or the one with better damage reduction but lower defense? Well, after testing a game, it turns out that the Yin Yang Daoist robe, despite having lower defense, actually takes less damage thanks to its superior damage reduction. In fact, using our earlier calculation, the Serpent skill set ended up taking around 14.6% more damage. This just goes to show how powerful damage reduction can be, and thus giving us more effective health. Outside of the gourd and using mana for Ring of Fire, there are two other main ways to regain health as Wukong: items and abilities. We can use sparks to level up exhilaration in the Staff Stance's ability tree, which gives us recovery when we consume focus points. Then the second is this piece of equipment, the Serpent Scale Battle Robe. Its effect is when our health is low, slowly recover a small amount of health. From testing, low health counts as below half, and there seems to be no cooldown on this passive. This then creates our build. We max out HP so that at half HP our health is as high as possible. We increase damage reduction, then defense to reduce damage taken from the boss so that we don't get one shot. And then we get HP regen with the robes, and then we can also heal using up focus points by doing charge attacks. So let's look at our equipment. First up is the Staff of Blazing Karma. It has pretty decent attack, good defense, and then the unique effect is also very useful for when we do charge attacks, and it gives us fire damage as well as a passive because of the lava effect when we use our fully charged up charge attack. Before this, I recommend using just using the staff that gives you the highest damage that you can find. For the vessels, I recommend the Wind Tamer. This is because we have a small increase in damage reduction just as a passive for equipping it, and then we get 50% damage reduction when we activate it. It's also very useful against flying enemies because it grounds them, allowing us to hit them with charged attack. For spirits, the Earth Rakshasa is the spirit of choice. This is because it gives us damage reduction for a short duration after being hit. The number is 10%, and then its active is also very useful because the heavy shield that it smashes onto the ground that stays there, it can block attacks, and it can also then deflect attacks when a boss hits it as well. It can break after a while though, so don't count on it too much, but while it's up, we can stand behind it and charge up our charge attack to hit the boss. For the headpiece, I am using the Bull King's Mask. It has a very useful effect which gives us focus when we take damage, which, yeah, is super useful since I can't dodge any of the attacks anyways. We get free focus, and then when we do a charge attack, we get to heal up the damage that was just done to us. The legs and the braces will both be from this set, and then this gives us the passive, the 2-set passive of Unyielding Resolve, which upon taking damage gives us increase in defense. Then the star of the show is our Serpent Scale Battle Robe. This battle robe starts off as an uncommon item, and then you can upgrade it later on. The unique effect is when the health is low, slowly recovers a small amount of health. If in water, the effect is significantly enhanced. This is super useful versus the final boss in Chapter 6. But so it just says when health is low. From testing, when you are below 50% health, you start to recover, and there seems to be no cooldown on it, and there's no limit in the usage of how much health you can recover either. The curio of choice is Boshan Sensor. This grants considerable damage reduction when gold use is depleted. It gives us 20% once we finish drinking all of our wine. Then the second curio is the Jade Moon Rabbit. It gives us damage reduction for equipping it at 1%. And then the last item is a toss-up between the Gold Spike Plate, which gives us defense and a Thornmail effect of reflecting damage when we take hits, or we can equip the Gold Sound Crow, or we can equip the Gold Sun Crow. This gives us an increase in damage, and then it also enhances the amount of damage reduction we get from the Jade Moon Rabbit, as you can see, by 2% here. So let's have a look at how we allocate our sparks. So the core sparks that we need are the following. In the Smash Dance, we want to level this up to allow us to sprint while charging. Then 3 points into Exhilaration. This will unlock some of the side trees. We want to do Ironbound Resolve. This gives us damage reduction while we're doing our charge attacks. Then Instinct. This reduces the stamina for our charge attacks. And then 1 point into Resolute Counterflow if so that we can do a counter if we're able to. But it's mostly to unlock the second row of focus. From here, we want to increase our Smashing Force. This increases our damage. Our Quick Hand, which reduces the charging speed of our charge attack. And then finally, Secondary Damage. This increases damage based on the remaining health of the opponent. There's no point clicking into this because we don't use varied combos, and then secondly, I can't dodge anyway, so there's no point leveling this up at all. In the foundation, what is important is our health, as mentioned before. Then that attack. One point in crit chance, because otherwise our crit damage is not useful. There is a defense talent here that we can level, but it's still costs 2 sparks to level up, but it gives us less defense than what we get in transformation. So I recommend that you max out the defense in Steadfast first in the transformation before you max out the defense in the foundation tree. Then the remaining stamina is pretty useful. And crit chance, after that, crit damage. Then in Mysticism, our spell of choice is Immobilization. The main point is to get to the last point in these trees. So if you don't have enough points, then I recommend you only put 1 point into these higher up trees so that we can get the final ability. In Alteration, the same thing. We choosing Cloud Step. This is because as we level it, we get to do more damage while we are in our cloud form, and it allows us to charge up our charge attack in the cloud form as well. Same story as before. If you don't have enough sparks, just put 1 point into it just so that we can reach the final point. In Strand, the same thing. What's important is the final level, because this allows our duplicates to actually use our spells as well. For Relics, Eagle Eye is really good because when this for Relics, Eagle Eye is very good because this reduces the CD of our cloud form, which allows us to use it more often. We can use it to dodge and to do damage as well. And then while we're doing our charge attack during our cloud form, we can heal up by consuming those focus points as well. Then the other important one is the tongue of the connoisseur. Each equipped soak increases the health recovery of the drink. For the other two, you guys can choose what is useful for you. I usually just choose something random here. So then with regards to our drinks, my drink of choice is Monkey Brew. This gives us 50% maximum health recovery when we do drink, although there are a few other options as well. There is the Jade Essence. This gives us mana back as we drink. The Sunset of Night Skies. This restores chi. Pine Brew. This gives us focus. And then Lamb Brew, which recovers a bit more of health over time after we finish drinking. But the most important bits are these soaks. So the Iron Pellet is one of the key items for our soaks. This is because it gives us tenacity while we're drinking, and then also gives us damage reduction. This damage reduction means that while we're drinking, we can heal at the same time and use it to tank hits from the boss as well. This stops us from getting one shot and at the same time allows us to heal. Then the second important bit is the Laurel Buds. This gives us damage reduction for a bit after we drink. And then the third is a nice to have, Celestial Lotus Seeds. This just heals us for a bit extra after we drink as well. And that's a wrap on the Theorycrafting. I'm excited to share that I've cleared the game with this build, and I hope that you all enjoy the journey. If you're into blackmyth Wukong Theorycrafting, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. And then if there's something else you guys would like to see, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts.